Maybe I can. Yep. Good morning. You ready to go out there? There's a bunch of snow. Yeah. Well, are you going, or are you just gonna stand and let the cold air in? Is it snowing? Yeah, it's snowing. Good morning, everybody. It's snowing, and you can kind of see the sun is trying to come out today, and I hope it does. And the snow is supposed to stop as well. And hopefully we will get to go down to Sand Dunes National Park and check it out. For those of you who are new to the channel, I'm Katie. That's Tuck. And this is my Jeep. And we're on a pretty massive road trip. And the sky is clearing. You can start to see Mount Blanca back there. We are currently in Colorado. And we have headed south from Denver through Canyon City to Salida and are now in pretty southern central Colorado, just south of Great Sand Dunes National Park. And that's where we're headed today, as soon as I gather up the dog. Hi. 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 Good morning. Oh, we're so happy this morning. You're so happy. Are you happy because there's all the snow? Good boy. Good boy. What are you getting back there? Good boy. Where are you going? I think there must be some food back there that he's investigating. Or maybe the trash. I will force him to come back up here and put a seatbelt on. But I think it's time to go. We are going to head toward Great Sand Dunes National Park. Aurora. Maybe I'm a little bit of an odd one for thinking this, but sagebrush covered snow is so pretty. Although this isn't all sagebrush, it's some clump grasses and rabbit brush and other weeds, but there's sagebrush out there. It's pretty, whatever it is. The weather is starting to clear up pretty quickly, and I need my sunglasses now. We are almost to Great Sand Dunes National Park. It's a little bit warmer too. It's about 24 degrees. It got into the single digits last night, but I was actually pretty comfortable even without the diesel heater, so that's good. The sand dunes have started to appear, and I'm glad to see that they're not completely covered in snow. It looks like they actually have somebody manning the entry booth. That's a little unusual this time of year. I did have to purchase a new annual pass because my old annual pass has expired. So a little pricey to come into the park. But your annual pass is good for entry into all the national parks for a year. So we'll be hitting more national parks. I have no doubt. Hang on. What are you finding in the snow? Oh, that's deer poop. This is not my first time to Sand Dunes National Park, but it is Tuck's first time. And he thinks it's pretty exciting. And I totally missed this big raven sitting up here. We're gonna walk back up to it and see if we can get it on video. It's a cool, big raven. There's a big raven sitting in that tree. Hello, Mr. or Mrs. Raven. How are you doing today? This is a group of pinyon pines. One of the very nice things about Sand Dunes National Park is dogs are allowed on most of the trails and on the dunes. Another informational board. So the San Luis Valley, which we're in, used to be covered by lakes, ancient lakes, and when those dried up, they left sand behind. And glaciers actually came through from the San Juan mountains as well and left some lakes. And when those lakes dried up and the winds were blowing, they deposited these sand dunes at the base of the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. They're all buried in the snow and dormant for the winter, but this is a type of sage that's called fringed sage. It's a lot smaller and more delicate than sagebrush that you see a lot out here. And these are yucca plants, which are very spiky and pokey. All right, let's go on down to the actual dunes, because you can hike on the dunes, and he can hike on the dunes. We're not hiking to the top of a dune or anything, because it's deep sand and goes up, and it's not fun to hike on the dunes. But we're gonna go see them. It's a very different experience coming here in winter than it is in summer. In summer, this place is a madhouse, and you can rent sleds and slide down the sand dunes. And so there are a gajillion people doing that in the summertime. But in the wintertime, I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars. I make number 6. Wait. Okay. What do you think, buddy? Is that fun and exciting? In the summertime, not only would this be just packed with people, you would be crossing a creek right now. There's a creek called Medano Creek that is just in front of the dunes, and while on a really hot summer day, it's not bad to cross that. If it's not a really hot summer day, it can be a little chilly. These dunes cover about 40 square miles, and the tallest one is 750 feet tall. And these are the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. And then in the sun and kind of far away are the San Juan Mountains way out there. It's soft sand and a lot of work just to hike to the base of the dunes, but a really popular hike is kind of straight up to the tallest dune behind me. We're not doing that. Besides the fact that it's already getting later in the day and I'm hungry. It's really, really hard to hike in that deep sand, especially uphill. And I'm not up for that today. Tuck is. He is full of energy. We're going to head a little bit further into the park. I don't think we can go actually very far because the road gets closed in wintertime, so I don't think we can go more than like a mile or 2, but we'll check it out. This is the Medano Primitive Road, which is a four-wheel drive road in summer. Here's where the tracks stop, which is not very far. And we are not going to drive back that because I can see the drifts. And the drifts over the road are prime conditions for getting stuck. So we will not be going back that road. Because of winter conditions, we're not doing a lot of exploring, but this is Tuck's first U.S. National Park. He's probably not going to get that many because most are not dog friendly. It's amazing that Sand Dunes is dog friendly. And I think it's dog friendly because it was a national monument for a long time before it became a national park. And it was very dog friendly as a national monument. And so it remains so. The short days of winter make it difficult to get much done in a day. And so that's it. We saw Sand Dunes, and I am headed right back to the same camp spot where I camped last night. You can actually see Mount Blanca now. All right, guys, I've started cooking dinner. Just having the same kielbasa and mashed potatoes that I had the other night. I'm wishing I'd cooked up 2 servings of mashed potatoes because it would go a lot quicker if I had done that. But, well, that's how it goes. And I'm going to sit and watch the sun go down and have my dinner. Well, I managed to cook 2 nights in a row. I am still too lazy to get my chair. This really hits the spot on a cold day. My GoPros keep on dying. Hopefully this one will last a minute. My GoPros keep on dying because of the cold, but all right, let's try this one more time. Tuck and I are in for the night, and it looks like my battery has warmed up enough, and my GoPro hopefully will keep running and not just shut off. And tomorrow we are going for a little hike, and we will see you guys in the morning. There's Teef. Are you good boy? Are you good boy? You're ridiculous. Somebody is very, very excited about going for a hike in the snow. Good morning, folks. We are hiking to Zapata Falls, which is just a cool waterfall. It's only about a mile hike each way. And I suspect, I suspect that this time of year the waterfall is going to be frozen. That's a nice view of the sand dunes out in the distance, and a puppy who is raring to go. Whoa. Good boy. It's really cloudy today. I think it's going to snow. I want it to clear up, but it doesn't look like that. It looks like snow. All right, we have reached the canyon where the falls are, and this ground is not solid. What's the best way to go here? Go over on that ice, or the unknown under the snow? What do you think? Are you happy, boy? I can't get further over here, I don't think. But cool, eh? Yep. Little peep right there. I think that's as close as I can get. Those are my footprints. Is that lady smarter than your mom? Yeah. Got my feet a little wet because the water went above my boots. But cool. Now I have my safe-ish path to get out of the river. Okay, we're out of the danger zone and headed back to the car. It's not really dangerous. The water's pretty shallow and it's a reasonably warm day today. It's about 20 degrees and in fact I'm sweating. I'm wearing too many layers and if I were on a longer hike I'd be peeling my layers off right now. You're not quite as energetic on the way back. And another nice view of the Sangre de Cristos on the way back down, although the tippy tops of them are still shrouded in clouds. We're hiking through more pinyon pine and you can see they're just starting to develop their little pine cones all through Colorado, New Mexico, Utah. You can find roadside stands selling pinyon pines, the actual nuts that are inside the pine cone. It's one of the very few pine trees that you can get a reasonably sized edible nut. Maybe we're gonna get some blue skies. Maybe. All right, hop in the car. Good boy. That wasn't very far of a hike, but I think somebody got tuckered out because he expended a lot more energy than I did. We're in this situation where it's not bright out because there's a lot of clouds, but the snow is reflecting what light there is. And so I need sunglasses even though it's not that bright outside to protect me from the reflections of the snow. We're headed in the direction of Del Norte, which is west of here, but I need to stop through Alamosa and get some groceries. Alamosa is the nearest town of size that will have groceries, so that's where we're going. I had to gain a fair bit of elevation to get to this trailhead, and so we get a really nice view of the San Luis Valley and the sand dunes and the mountains, the Sangre de Cristo mountains, and it's pretty nice. I'm glad the clouds have lifted a little bit. And you can see the entirety of Great Sand Dunes National Park from up here, but unfortunately the tall mountains have their heads in a cloud and you can't see the very impressive Sangre de Cristo mountains. Only the bottom parts of them. Alamosa is a cute little town. Nice main street with a bazillion Mexican restaurants and Chinese restaurants. Chinese restaurants are not surprising because there's usually, in a lot of Western towns, a significant population of Chinese because of the railroads. I'll be right back. Do not eat anything in the car, please. Thank you. This is not for little doggies. I know it seems like it's for little doggies. We have arrived at some BLM land, which is apparently the start of the Old Spanish Trail, which I know nothing about. It was a trade route linking Santa Fe to Los Angeles. I think I have some learning to do about the Spanish Trail, but for the moment, we're just gonna find a camp spot. I'm not stoked about having power lines here, but it's the first available campsite, and look at those mountains. They're partially obscured by clouds, but that's still pretty spectacular. I'm sure I could find a better spot further down the road, but this'll do. And I'm ready to be done for the day. And I think I'm gonna get the Jeep set up for sleeping and editing and feed the puppy dog, and then we're turning in. Probably just gonna have some cheese and apple for dinner. Nothing exciting, nothing that takes work, but this is home for the night. And I'm gonna do some research on the Old Spanish Trail. I mean, it looks pretty snowy, so I don't know that we can go very far down it, but I'm gonna do some looking, see what I can find. And I think that's it for today. And I want to thank all of you guys for coming along with me. It's amazing that you're coming along with me. And if you've made it this far in the video and you're not a subscriber, maybe you should subscribe. I'll see you down the road.